Hey everyone, I'm Sunita and you're watching Sunita's English Adventure. I hope you're all doing amazing. So, the other day, one of my students asked me a question that I think almost every English learner has in their mind. She said, "Ma'am, I've been watching your videos for a long time and I'm amazed by how fluent you have become over the years. So, please tell us, how did you become fluent and what are your tips and tricks?" And you know what? The moment she asked this question, many other students in the class became curious too, and they also wanted to know the answer. But instead of answering immediately, I asked her a question. I said, "You tell me, what do you think helped me become fluent in English?" And without taking much time, she answered, "Consistency, observation, and practice." And I smiled because that was no surprise for me. She was absolutely right. I added two more things to the list: compulsion and teaching. That means knowledge sharing. Now, these are not new words. I think everyone watching this video already knows these words, right? Consistency, practice, teaching, revision, knowledge sharing, observation. These are not new words for us. If I ask you today, how do you become fluent in English? I think most of you will probably give the same answer. So, the real question today is not, do we know what to do? The real question is, if we already know what to do, why don't we actually do it? Think about it. We know exercising is good for our health. We know sleeping on time is important. We know saving money is good for us. Yet, how many of us do these things consistently? So the problem is rarely a lack of knowledge. We all have a lot of information already. The usual problem is a lack of action because our brain loves comfort. It wants quick wins and it gets all excited about new stuff, but the second that excitement wears off, it gets bored. And learning a language, it's repetitive. You'll say the same kinds of sentences again and again, mess up the same way over and over, go through the same grammar rules again and again, and after a few weeks, your brain starts nagging you. Nothing is changing. I'm still messing up. I think English is not for me. But that's when most people give up. Not because they don't know what to do, but because the process feels boring before it starts feeling rewarding. Real fluency is built on those boring days where you show up anyway, right? Now, let me share with you my own story. So, I started my journey back in August 2024, and honestly, my grammar was rough. I would make silly mistakes all the time. Words like does, goes, been, being were not naturally part of my vocabulary. My understanding of tenses was weak. If you watch some of my old videos today, you'll definitely find many mistakes. But here's one thing I never did: I never waited to become perfect before speaking. I knew I was making a lot of grammar mistakes, but I also knew something else: that if I kept waiting for perfection, I would never start. So I spoke anyway. I spoke to different people every day. Some conversations were good, some were awkward, some were full of mistakes, but every conversation taught me something. And that's how improvement happens, right? Not in one magical day, but one conversation at a time. And here is another thing that changed everything for me: compulsion. Now, many people misunderstand this word, but when I say compulsion, I simply mean creating a situation where you simply do not have the option to skip practice. For me, my YouTube channel became that compulsion. I had committed to myself that no matter what happens, I'll post one conversation video every single day. Some days I felt tired, some days I didn't feel motivated, some days I felt like my English wasn't good enough, but because people were waiting for my videos, I had committed publicly. I couldn't simply disappear. That commitment forced me to practice, and that practice slowly transformed my English. Sometimes people keep waiting for motivation, but motivation comes and goes. Commitment stays. So don't depend too much on motivation. Create some healthy pressure for yourself. Create a YouTube channel. Teach your kid one English sentence every day. Or promise your friend that I'll call you in the evening and practice English. So you have to create some kind of accountability for yourself, because when practice becomes non-negotiable, your improvement becomes inevitable. Now, here is another thing that changed my journey forever: teaching. Now, when I say teaching, please don't think you need students. Teaching doesn't mean standing in front of a classroom. It simply means sharing your knowledge. You can teach your friend, you can teach your husband or wife, you can teach your kid, you can teach your younger sibling, you can even teach your favorite teddy bear. Yes, I'm serious. Or you can stand in front of a mirror and start explaining today's lesson to yourself. You know what happens when you try to explain something? Your brain starts organizing information. It starts asking questions like, how can I explain this clearly? Or what examples should I give? What if somebody asks me a question? It starts thinking much more deeply. So your knowledge is not locked inside your brain anymore. It starts coming out, and that's where real learning begins. When you explain something, you're also revising it. Think about your old school days. Imagine you studied sincerely throughout the entire year, but before the final exam, you didn't revise anything. Would you still get the same marks? Probably not. Because revision refreshes your memory and teaching naturally gives you that revision. That's why people often say if you want to master something, teach it, even if you're teaching yourself. So, if someone asks me today what the secret to fluency is, my answer has not changed. Stay consistent, practice regularly, observe closely, teach what you learn, and create some healthy pressure for yourself. Now, none of this is some big secret. The magic is not in knowing them, the magic is in doing them every single day. So, if this video really helped you, please share it with someone who is struggling with English. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye. Take care.